Hi, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today I'm working out in the barn, doing some maintenance and moving some birds around and cleaning some pens. As you can see, there's cobwebs galore. That's part of the barn maintenance too. I'm going to show you how I get rid of the cobwebs efficiently and cheaply, as well as how we do our pen bottoms and how we go about the regular maintenance of what's going on while keeping all these birds that we have. First, I want to talk about the tools that I use when I'm cleaning out a pen. Just a basic straight edge shovel, serves as a scooper, scraper, and also moves around sand if there's any low spots. The horse stall fork, it's a basket style. I outfitted the basket part with 1/4 inch hardware cloth, secured on there with zip ties. That way the tines will rake through the sand, make a pile, then I can sift the pile. The sand will stay in the pen and the poo will come out. The other tool I use for cobwebs, there's an extender pole with a brush on the bottom. After going through and killing numerous shop vacs, they can't hold up to the job. This thing I can just sweep through, collect all of the cobwebs. Inside of the bucket is a bleach solution, about a capful of bleach to 1 gallon of water. When it gets too filthy, I just swap it out, refill it. Up here in the ceiling, I've already done a couple of spots. Back here in the back, I haven't done it yet. This is what it looked like before. It doesn't take long for these cobwebs to build up, so every time I clean out a pen, I also go for the cobwebs too. From this pen, there were 9 birds in here. I hadn't touched it for about 2 months. So between some wet sand from the drinker area and the poo load, that's all that came out. It's really not much, and our compost pile grows a little bit slower versus the biomass that would come out of a pen that had pine shavings or straw or something like that. When you have to totally muck it out, it'll go through several wheelbarrow fulls per one pen. Sand has been working out a lot better. We've been using it for several years now. Back here in the back, this is about 7 inches deep. We have a step down in our old barn. They dust bathe in here. It's nice and fluffy. Up here on the rise is about 2 inches deep. It's the bare minimum. I fill the nest box with sand too. If I use anything else, they just kick it out all over the floor. So just keep that the same. The feeders in our big pens, they hold 50 pounds of feed. They're from Duncan Family Farm, American made. You want to install them at chest height on the birds that are going to be in the pen. That helps rodent proof them. That gap down there is quite a jump for anything small looking to steal feed. My favorite water drinker design so far is with a 5-gallon food grade bucket with the self-filling cups installed. The cups do have a 2-year warranty, but you have to replace the washers before that warranty is up. Something I've noticed with them. I do check them daily just to make sure. There's a screw top lid, which makes it easy to fill them. But besides getting a couple more cobwebs down, this pen is about ready to put more birds in. And I'll show you how the basket works when I get over to the next pen. This is an example of a stall that we haven't cleaned yet. This is how the basket works. You can use the tines to rake up your pile. Just going through the top 3 inches is enough. Everything on the surface has been dried out by the sand. We don't have any moisture problems. The ammonia doesn't build up too bad. The key to a good coop is having it dry. So as the basket works through everything, you can see where the under sand is getting really clean and beautiful. A couple of shakes out the sand, just the poo comes out. This wheelbarrow is probably only going to end up 1/3 of the way full by the time we get through this whole pen. Collects out all the molted feathers. And then it'll be ready to last another couple of months before we have to do this again, since we don't overcrowd the birds. This pen, for example, only has 4 birds in it, so we really don't have to look too often. But today is another day of maintenance done. So the only downside about sand is sometimes around the water drinker area, if it gets wet, it'll start to harden up and get clumpy. So that's when the straight edge shovel comes into play. And we can use that to get anything caked removed out of the pen. And then we can grab loose sand from the back side of the pen and refresh around the water drinker. Sometimes there is some scraping involved if anything gets chunky from moisture. But it locks itself in there and it doesn't spread to the rest of the pen, which is another handy thing, because if it was something that was absorbent like pine shavings or straw, then it's going to keep seeping like a wick. The sand, it'll stop moving and it only gets wet directly around a drinker if they happen to spill some. After we have the big chunks taken out, we can go back with the basket sifter and get the rest of the small chunks. And the reason we do put this focus around here is because you don't want to have any moisture building up. Because with moisture comes concerns with bacterial growth, fungus growth, or parasites having a nice warm and wet place to hang out. Since we are headed into summer right now, we're going to have 90-degree temperatures. That is going to encourage undesirable growth of microorganisms that could in turn be damaging to the flock. So we want to really harp on keeping things dry, keeping things clean, and giving the flock the best chance to stay healthy without any intervention needed from us besides their daily care.